Alright guys, let's set up a CR-10 S500. This is the 500mm 3D printer from Creality, and I figured it's about time that I have a 3D printer here in my studio. So, I've been 3D printing for a long time. After graduating college as a car designer, I went on to become an expert 3D modeler in Alias, Modo, Maya, you name it. 3D is my world. I've been 3D printing on other systems for a long time, and it's going to be nice to have one readily available so that as I'm developing cars, I can test functional parts or prototypes to see how things come together for the manufacturing, as well as just printing scale models, which will be a lot of fun. I won't be able to show you everything. A lot of my work is proprietary and is in complete lockdown. But any of my personal projects that I'm doing for individuals, definitely can share those. It's time. Let's go jump right in. This thing is massive. Wow. It takes up the whole table. I have a cabinet that I originally thought I was going to use, but a little too small. It went together really well. All of the cables are well labeled. I'm gonna need to print some of the upgrades in order to do like the strain relief. Still trying to understand how tight the belts need to be. I have no clue how tight those should be. And I think we're just gonna do our first print. Oh, I should mention that like pretty much everybody with the CR-10, the glass is not flat. So I have a buildup of tape underneath in order to flatten it out in the center. Originally it was flipped over and the center was kind of raised up. So flip the glass, put some tape in the middle, and then when you clip the sides down, everything seems to be flattening out. Yeah, leveling the bed went well, so I think we're ready. I'm going to print just a torture test like a lot of people do, a 3D Benchy, and just to see how it performs out of the box essentially. There's a couple things that I know need to be adjusted. There's a screw missing here. There's a couple things that are loose. So I've tightened a few things up, but I haven't gone crazy. We're gonna work through that. Let's begin. It has been a few days and I've done a couple prints, a lot of experimenting, really trying to learn the software, learn how this machine works. I do want to call out, I'm not affiliated with CR-10 in any way. I just really want to share my experience as a designer who's pursuing building cars, how this is going to be applied to automotive. So let's talk about the Benchy. The whole model is bending. It's like shearing the back half of it. So something was definitely wrong. I started to tear it apart, and I realized that this gear, or pinion, pulley gear, whatever it's called, was loose, and it had worked itself against the motor housing. So it was causing all sorts of issues with sliding this back and forth. So once I got that solved, I adjusted a bunch of the wheels. I did another test, and I noticed that there's extreme amounts of ghosting that was starting to happen. So the surface quality went down, but the overall geometry and accuracy went up. So started doing some vibration tests. I reinforced my table because it was moving quite a bit. Go figure, it actually worked better with the loose table. I might, put dampeners under the feet. Where I have the best results so far, and I believe it's this one. I doubt you can see it, but there's minimal ghosting on this axis. What I did is I tightened the carriage wheels underneath just a little bit tighter than I would assume was good. People were saying to make them loose so you can still twist them if you give it a little pressure, and I just tightened it a little bit more. And that took out almost all of the ghosting. It worked out really well. I'm still trying to figure out the X, and if anybody can confirm the way this cube is out of the box in Cura, when this is ghosting on Y, is it the X is good, or is it when it's ghosting on Y, the Y axis is bad? Anybody please chime in the comments and let me know, because I could not figure that out or didn't make sense. Anyway, overall, really pleased with my first experience with the CR-10. And it is a lower priced printer, so I've spent quite a bit of time to learn how this functions. There was some things out of the box that weren't ready to go that maybe you don't have to deal with higher priced 3D printers. But overall, I've learned a lot. I understand how all of the mechanics work, and the software, I'm using Cura, the one that came with it, along with the download from Ultimaker. Let me know if I should get Simplified 3D. I've heard good things about that application, and it's pretty cheap, so not a problem to invest in that. Overall, the Benchy is good. It was a lot of fun to print. My daughter really loves it, but we got to move on to something more exciting. So hopefully in the next few days, I'm slammed on a project right now, and then once I come back, I'm going to print some really fun and exciting things. Thank you. Subscribe. Leave some comments. I would love your feedback on your experience with the CR-10, and if you see or have any suggestions of how to get the best quality, please let me know. Peace out.